Standing out between iconic shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy, King of the Hill is one of America's most remembered and beloved animated sitcoms. Like many of Fox's other animated shows, it appealed to the American family with a unique style, showing directly a middle American family without becoming too absurd in humor or subject matter. Beginning as a mid-season replacement on Fox in 1997, King of the Hill was the creation of Mike Judge. What began as a filler series became one of Fox's best comedies and its third longest-running animated series. Despite its popularity, King of the Hill never got a theatrical feature, unlike other animated sitcoms such as The Simpsons and Family Guy. At least, there was never concrete proof it did. But King of the Hill was eventually canceled by Fox after 13 seasons on September 13, 2009. Since then, King of the Hill has retained its popularity, being syndicated on both Adult Swim and Comedy Central after cancellation. Even after 9 years, King of the Hill has not been forgotten by fans either, since everyone thought there was nothing to forget, nor anything to remember. Except, on February 16, 2018, former supervising director on King of the Hill, Wes Archer, released a bizarre short from the series on his Instagram, supposedly from a King of the Hill movie, and nearly nobody knew what it was or where it had come from. Before we begin, we should talk about Wes Archer. He runs the animation-focused Instagram page, Archermation, where the short first surfaced on the internet. You have probably never heard of the man though, but he is rather famous. Wes Archer was one of the 3 original animators on The Simpsons, and since then has worked on Futurama, was supervising animation director for King of the Hill, and is currently supervising director on Rick and Morty. So it makes sense the short would be in his possession, as besides being director on King of the Hill, Archer also wrote on his Vimeo account he directed and storyboarded the short. Also, according to comments by Archer on his Instagram page, he supposedly found the short on VHS and had it digitized circa 2000, barely saving it from what would have been likely total obscurity, and since then he's had the only known physical copy, until he uploaded it to his Instagram page on February 16th. Shortly afterwards, the short spread across social media from Archer's Instagram, mainly on Twitter and YouTube, where fans of the show were astounded there was a piece of King of the Hill they had never seen, and stunned by how absolutely bizarre the short was. Where had it come from? Was this actually part of a King of the Hill movie only a scant few ever recalled seen? On February 26, Mike Judge, King of the Hill's creator, added to the short's mystery when he posted it to his Twitter account with the cryptic message, "The time Hank Hill saved the world." And nothing more. As we have it, the short is only about 39 to 40 seconds long. According to Wes Archer, the short was produced in HD widescreen, and its animation is pretty exact to the series, supporting Archer's claims he was one of its main creators. Though due to its brevity, its style is rather compacted, though that may also be a result of the video quality. It's tongue-in-cheek, supposedly a section from a King of the Hill movie. The setting is just about as absurd, as it has Hank Hill in the fallout of several disastrous wishes in front of the White House with a genie, along with a massive Bobby and Invisible Dale. Due to its brevity, and to make it easier, I'll just play the whole thing for you.
Well, we saved the world from aliens, but Bobby is still 50 feet tall and Dale is still invisible.
It's true.
I have no choice. Shabu, for my last wish, I want everything back to normal.
It is done.
Wait a minute. This isn't back to normal. This is light beer. Darn you, Shabu!
There are a few interesting things to remark about it. A majority of the show's main characters appear, but only Hank and Dale have speaking roles, voiced by Mike Judge and Johnny Hardwick respectively. Along with them there is the mysterious Shabu or Shabu, with an unknown third voice actor. Shabu is also the strangest part of the short. His style, especially face, is much choppier and sketchy than other King of the Hill characters, making him stand out against the semi-realistic style of the show. Near the end, as things return to normal, look to Bill on the far right. Bill Dauterive looks vastly different from his in-series appearance. People have theorized everything from animation error to him actually being Bill Clinton. The latter is the more correct answer. According to an Instagram comment by Archer, it's supposed to be a joke of Bill being played by the actor Ned Beatty. So that's at least one question answered. But With something so out of context, there are several more, such as when the music begins to play, a more rock and roll rendition of the show's theme, Dale is cut off in mid-sentence, and the screen begins to pan out. Showing the short is taking place in a movie theater, only adding to how strange the clip is. And it is a clip. Why? This 40 seconds is not the complete short. There may be anywhere from an extra 15 to 30 seconds, as Wes Archer had to shorten it to upload it to his Instagram. Is this part of a lost, never-shown King of the Hill movie then? No. There is no movie, but this short was lost for nearly 20 years. So lost almost nobody knew it existed. Even its own creators forgot it had existed. Only a scant few references to it exist scattered across the internet. A scant few who had briefly seen it were the only ones to remember it. In fact, I could only find one extensive reference and description of it in the past decade, before Archer posted it, though the description was posted merely a year before Archer uploaded the short. A post from Avian Bird on the Lost Media Wiki forums from August 27, 2017 describes the short. It is slightly incorrect but nails all the major points, enough to confirm the short he is describing is the one uploaded by Archer on Archermation, only a year before it resurfaced online, even going on to describe the section of the short we do not have. As he says, "So I figured since I was on here, I just made a thread in the unknown forum, but I wanted to ask if anyone remembers a short King of the Hill cartoon that played in theaters in 2000. The short itself was a promo for the Will Rogers Institute, that teamed up with celebrities every summer and created a PSA to raise awareness of childhood cancer and help raise money by buying of their special popcorn soda combo packs. They stopped doing these promos sometime in the late 2000s, but they always kind of stuck with me, as I would see some of my favorite shows. Married with Children did one in the early 90s, and can be found on YouTube. But alas, the King of the Hill short isn't. The short itself was pretty funny. It shows Hank and Peggy pulling themselves out of the rubble in a destroyed Washington, D.C. Hank says to Peggy, "Well, we stopped the alien invasion, but Bobby is still 200 feet tall and Dale's invisible." The scene cuts to a giant Bobby pulling the top off the Capitol building like it's a cookie jar, and all you can see of Dale is his glasses, hat, and cigarette. Hank then says to Peggy, "I'm sorry, Peggy, but I have to do this." He then turns to a genie to make his final wish. "Zamboni, I wish for everything to go back to the way it was, before all this crazy stuff happened." The genie grants the wish and everything goes back to normal, except Bill is Ernest Borgnine for some reason, and Dale is standing there naked with a can covering his crotch. That's when Dale notices something is off and says, "Wait a minute, this is light beer. Damn you, Zamboni!" At that point, the camera zooms out from the movie screen, and you see the King of the Hill cast in a theater with Hank mentioning that the King of the Hill movie may have been a flop, but by buying these Will Rogers popcorn packs, they've supported a good cause. It ends with Bobby wolfing down a box of Junior Mints, and that's it. Some have mentioned that it might be on a DVD collection, but I can't afford all the DVDs, and those who have it that I asked don't remember seeing them in the special features. I've done plenty of Google searches, and I've come up with this mention of it in a flyer here. If someone has any leads on where I can find it, please post here. Thank you. Obviously, not all the details are the same, but Avian Bird is clearly describing the very same short. Even more than we have, in fact. So what exactly was this short? What was its purpose? The short was clearly no movie, but that was part of the joke. It was shown as a joke with previews in theaters before movies. According to Wes Archer, as he commented on his Instagram, this was a theatrical release PSA spot that screened with previews. A portion of the $, money, spent on lobby snacks went to the Will Rogers Institute Foundation for Charity. It was produced in HD widescreen. This is also confirmed in the Will Rogers Humanitarian Institute's pamphlet Avian Bird dug up. As it states in a blurb, Hollywood, King of the Hill, the animated television series, and actor Jason Alexander will host 2 separate public service announcements for the big screen this summer to help the Will Rogers Institute raise funds and awareness for pulmonary disease. Interestingly enough, the Jason Alexander PSA has survived in its full extent. It was uploaded to the Will Rogers Institute YouTube page on April 28, 2016, nearly 2 years ago. It's a PSA on asthma and is far more serious in tone than the King of the Hill short. So both were produced for the Will Rogers Institute. Named after the vaudeville performer, the Institute's goal is to fund medical research and spread awareness of medical and fitness issues, with these shorts being made to help fund the charity cause, through both donations and buying of certain concession goods, which, afterwards, a cut of the money would be donated to the cause. The campaign is rather old. It started with James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart, and Bette Davis in 1936, and continues to this day. The King of the Hill and Jason Alexander shorts were aired in the summer or fall of 2000, according to the pamphlet, with one YouTube commenter stating they saw them before the movie Chicken Run in 2000. So why exactly does no one remember this, and what happened to the rest of it? Why this short was lost is hard to say. The Will Rogers Institute seems to have never published it anywhere, besides the theater, nor has it ever been included on any home-release King of the Hill media, most likely due to copyright complexity, as the King of the Hill characters are copyrighted media, and the Will Rogers Institute is a public charity. What about the other half of the short, with Hank talking about the cause, the one part that would put the whole clip into context? According to Archer, he clipped the short down so it would fit on his Instagram. He supposedly has the full clip and plans to release it on his Vimeo channel at some point. Though, 2 months ago, he only posted the clipped 39-second copy. No one knows when or if he'll ever post the full thing, so if you are interested, keep your eyes on that. Plus, Mike Judge is supposedly in talks with Fox for a King of the Hill revival, and I am sure that will bring a lot of interest back to the series and to this short. Why did such a bizarre piece of media remain lost and forgotten for so long? Beside being short and obscure, it was infamously hard to search for. Claims have floated about that a group has spent 10 years looking for the short online, unable to turn up anything across the internet. And while I've never seen proof, there was a good minority of people relieved when Wes Archer finally posted it. King of the Hill is also somewhat infamous for extremely bizarre lost pieces of the franchise. From the early morning Hank Hill meets the Silver Surfer adverts, to the legendary lost live-action Monsignor Martinez live-action pilot. So that another odd end could have gone missing is not surprising. It is interesting to wonder how much King of the Hill still exists out there, unseen. The short was basically unknown until the internet. Even then, it was still obscure and impossible to find until recently, showing just how easy the bizarre can be lost and sought after. The web is a strange and mysterious place that moves in ways totally unknown and arbitrary, to human or franchise.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.